Good morning, everyone. Today is Thursday, May 4th, and I thank you so much for joining into our weekly ACA webinars. We have pretty much information to discuss today, and as I've mentioned in the previous weeks, it changes so quickly. For just quick housekeeping for those of you that are new to this format, you can ask questions in one of two ways. You can either raise your hand, the hand icon on your control panel to the right of your screen, or you can just type in your question in the question box and we'll answer them at the end. Again, we run these webinars weekly because there's a lot to discuss, and with the new administration, we did create a new bullet point so that we could keep abreast of all the changes. And I can tell you, as I mentioned, it just changes so quickly. So when I prepared this yesterday, the agenda, I talked about the American Health Care Act and the GOP and the Freedom Caucus consensus was basically that it resulted in new support from the Freedom Caucus, but it also resulted in lost votes from the GOP. And some of the sticking points seem to be the pre-acts and the provision within the HCA, which would allow states to institute a high-risk pool and waive the essential health benefits, or community rating, which of course is no underwriting. So I was prepared to mention that today and mention that a vote is expected to take place possibly this week or next week, but then of course I just hear late last night that the vote is expected today at 1 p.m. So this of course will be through the Congress. They believe that they have enough votes to pass it on to the Senate. What it means once it gets to the Senate, I don't know. There are some folks that think that it won't pass. Some say that it will, but that's yet to be determined on if it will pass and what amendments will come out or changes will come out from the Senate as well. Part of what allowed the vote to go forward today is an amendment they're calling the Upton Amendment, UPTON. Fred Upton from Michigan and Billy Long from Missouri met with the president yesterday, and they added an $8 billion amendment to help cover those with pre-existing conditions. So that is now in the bill, and that, again, is what they felt would gain the votes. And I guess they know that they've gained the votes to get this through the House today. So we'll be watching that, and hopefully I'll have more information to share. That does mean, too, that part of the provisions, of course, is the elimination of the individual tax penalty, as well as the employer mandates and the employer penalties. So, that's all good news to me. Again, what that means for the coverage, because it's a lot of semantics and changing tax credits or advanced premium tax credits, aka subsidies, to a tax credit, but again, we're going to see what comes out of it. On another note, last week Commissioner Miller and several carriers wrote a letter to HHS Secretary Price to plead with them to continue the cost share subsidies for Pennsylvania in order to stabilize the market. They're really afraid that if the cost share subsidies are yanked, that more carriers will have to account for that on their pricing models, the filings, and even their participation within the state for individual health insurance in 2018. So again, our commissioner is above all, she is concerned about the Pennsylvania citizens, and that's her job to do that. Obviously there's a lot of push and pull, and I don't know if we'll ever get to a stable market, but definitely with those cost share subsidies and allowing those to continue, that will at least give all of the states some comfort in, allowing the carriers to file the plans. Speaking of filing plans, they are due by the 20th and 21st of May. So as you can imagine, if this bill passes and then it's expected to go through the Senate at some point, what does that mean for 2018? Colorado gave a filing extension, a 1-month reprieve, so their filing is due the 20th and 21st of June. So we'll see if other states adopt that sort of provision to wait to file. I think it's, the longer they file, the more creative they can get with their plans, obviously, once they know more about what the new law may or may not be. So enough said about that. The next bullet point, we had talked about the Cat Blue Cross commissions that they were originally supposed to deposit money and the statement last Friday, which didn't happen. We did get the statement. We're supposed to get, we just got the statement yesterday. We're supposed to get the check, I believe, the deposit this week. So we will pay out the 10th through the 12th of May for all of the 2017 individual health renewal compensation, the 2017 MedSupp, and then, of course, the normally scheduled payments. So I can tell you that from Brandy Coleman, our director of commission, she said that the statement is a mess, so they're auditing it right now. But you know, as close as possible, she's going to get the commissions out through the 10th, May 10th through the 12th. If you have questions, just give me a call or give Brandy a call as well. So my next bullet point is let us quote your groups. You know, we talk a lot about individual and this law, but we've also, URL as an agency has really done a lot to improve the group offerings for you, our agent partners, because we know what's going on out there in the market and what's being required of you. So I did include, along with the Upton Amendment, the opinion piece, I did include our consumer-directed value adds. This is something that you can use for your prospecting, use our value adds as yours. So if you do your group business with us, please take a look at those consumer direct value adds, the flyer, and we're happy to put your contact information on there, and you can use it again to prospect new group clients. Let us quote them. Oh, the never-ending saga of HCC, their short-term med. As you recall from previous weeks, we talked about the Pennsylvania application not being done, so they had pulled the product until the application was approved by the insurance commissioner. They have now decided to exit the short-term market. So IHC and National General are still the only carriers in Pennsylvania for short-term medical. Again, 90-day duration, no longer. Your clients can rewrite within the same carrier for another 90 days and continue to write 90-day policies. Commission on the IHC and National General short-term is 18%. That's 1/8. So if you have prospects that are looking for coverage that meets their needs and more within their budget, again, at this point, until anything changes within the law, the short-term medical still does not negate that individual mandate. It does not satisfy the qualifications to have qualified health plans. So they would still be subject to the tax penalty at this point. But again, that could change. So that's it. That brings us up to the end of our agenda for today. We're going to open it up for questions. Just a note while you're typing your questions, next webinar is Thursday, May 18th. We will not have a webinar next Thursday. URL will be away, most of us for, I shouldn't say most of us, some of us, I will be away for the inaugural Gemini Partners retreat at the Salamander Resort in Virginia. So I'll be away the 10th through the 12th. So no webinar next week, but we'll pick up where we left off on the 18th. All right, so let's open it up for questions. See who is inquisitive today. Well, it's Margie. Well, hello, Margie. Will it open up to brokers the ability to quote LGH group health plan? You can quote that LGH plan, Margie. It's just only right now being done through 3 general agencies. So if you do want to quote it, you would have to go through another agency to get that. But yeah, you do have the ability to quote it. It's you just have to go through a different agency. When they came out with that plan, they limited it to only 3 general agencies in Pennsylvania. And that's it. Simple questions. LGH, David, is Lancaster General hospital. So Lancaster General Hospital has a health plan that it's a self-funded health plan built around LGH Hospital, and it's the hospital system. Okay, well, that brings us up to the end. As always, I thank all of you for joining in. Keep your questions coming. Things are changing rapidly, so I'll try to keep you as abreast as much as possible. Please check out our newsletter that comes out in a few minutes here. A lot of the information that's pertinent to this industry is in that as well. So again, thank you so much for joining in, and have a great Cinco de Mayo tomorrow, a great weekend, and then we'll hook back up on the 18th of May. Enjoy your day. Bye-bye.